There's the scene. There we go. How's it going? This is my very messy FL Studio session for all these tracks. It's very messy. I was making these things at breakneck speed and making poor organizational choices along the way. Oh well. It's done now. It's only a problem if I want to do an OST, which we might want to include as a bonus track at some point. I guess some people were asking for these. It's really tricky because like we don't even have these tracks in like complete wave form. We don't even have them because we basically ported all this stuff to Fmod Studio, right? Every 16th note for each stem, like each separate instrument, we basically identified all the unique 16th notes. So for example, in this bass line, if I just solo this, all right? I mean, I don't need this B2 4 times, right? So we export B2 once, and then in Fmod Studio, we actually like put all these 16th notes in order again. So it's like porting the track from FL Studio to Wave back to Fmod Studio. It was gross. It was super gross. It was among the more tedious things I've done in my career, probably. But it works. I mean, we had a lot of problems with the rhythm rooms because of what's up, J Hobbs. Had problems with the rhythm rooms because of, well, a variety of reasons, but wanting things to be deterministic prevented doing things like having the track, like the current track of the current level, control the rhythm of the blocks. And it also created design constraints in terms of gauging difficulty. If there's like different tempos, if something's chill, it's going to be easier to do and stuff like that, right? And further, since it's not variable frame rate, like if the game drops a frame and we're doing beat detection, then that introduces a whole lot of potential for problems too. So in this case, if we simply play a 16th note every... In fact, I can probably even show this to you pretty fast. Let's see how fast Celeste opens. There we go, please. Hey! It's in memory, cool. So I can show this to you really easily. Go to cassette tracks. So all these tracks, like this is the resort level, right? So it's kind of a nightmare to look at. So there's nothing on the timeline. It's just like a looping silence with a snapshot to bring the ambience down, whatever the room is. And then here's the track. Like if you how do I best show it to you? If I show you FL Studio, like you can see, it's kind of hard to see on the timeline alone because this thing is organized like trash, but you can see like this instrument only has some things early on and then down below, and like this one only has things early on, and this one only has things later on, and so forth, right? So you can kind of see the same things here. So I'll pause this, and I can't even show this to you in real time because what's happening is this isn't even a real timeline. Like this x-axis isn't time. It's for those of you who are unfamiliar with Fmod Studio, the x-axis is not time. It's in fact just a value, and in this case the value is 16th note. So we have a value from 0 to 255, and basically if I press play, that's what you get. You get like just one note because the timeline is moving, but all this looping does is it says it basically says this event will stay active because it's looping silence. If this wasn't here, then Fmod would be like, oh, nothing's left. We're going to stop the event now, right? So this looping silence says keep the event active. And this ambience fade is kind of a complex thing to handle the snapshot fading out in the event without having to do it manually in code, but I don't worry about that. So the 16th note thing, if I zoom in a lot, you can see like this is the bass line here. If I solo this and scroll through, scrolling for me, cool. Right. So basically, as soon as you can think of like these regions as more like instructions. Oh, trying to track the, is that why? Is it trying to track the, that's why. So it's more like instruction, just saying whenever the playhead overlaps one of these regions, do whatever that region says. Or it's called a module, I guess, now in the new version. So this module, for example, says play this sound, right? So if I go back and forth, the playhead will have left that, therefore it'll do it again. Right, it'll do it like one time per crossing over. So in code, what's happening is the game is advancing this playhead one, like, you know, just numerically increments up one every 10 frames, I think it is. And the result is we get this, and I saw Josh, was it Josh in the chat say, can you apply velocity, or somebody else? So Damien said it. So you can apply velocity true, I could. I'm afraid to, because I did that once in testing, and then forgot to change it back. So in game, what would happen is they would like get to the end of the track, and then the game's like, okay, 0 again, and it goes 0. But since I had like a seek speed on it, it would like try and seek back to 0 again. So in effect, you'd hear like all the 16th notes of the song in reverse order for like half the track, and then back forward again once it caught up with where the playhead actually was. So I can show it to you though. I can go like I can say seek speed, like I think 6 works pretty well or something. Is that true? I don't know. So it's playing. It's stopping now. I'll press play again, and just click here. It'll sound like trash because it's not supposed to do this, of course, right, in game, but you get the idea. So then like, this is a very unnatural way to use FMod Studio. I'm relatively certain this might be the first time that it's been used like as a drum sequencer, or rather step sequencer, I guess is a better word. But it works. It totally works. It was tedious as hell because I need to like, you know, look at these things. It's like this is all hand placed, right? It's like E3, A3, A2, A3, E3, A3, B2, B3. It's basically a tracker. Yeah, jazz. You get the idea. So I'll undo that. The velocity would do it timed properly. I mean, would it have a difference? Would it actually? That'd be surprising to me. Why would it matter? I wonder. How about 6 again? Yeah, it's still just a matter of it processing what's happening, right? Like this isn't really meant. This isn't the same thing as playing it in game, so I'm not surprised it still messes it up. But anyways, anyway, yeah. So we might put the full track one day or something. I don't know. It's challenging. Oh, and I didn't show you the really fun part. Because of the constraints of having to play this 1/16th note at a time, if we want to do things like a held note or simulate a held note, then, oh man, is it like in here maybe? Oh yeah, you can't do it this way. Basically, I think it's under like maybe Mirror Temple had the. I don't recall which it was. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is like these 4 tracks, pad 1 and then delay 1, 2, 3, are like faking delay basically, because since this is not on a timeline, and I can't be guaranteed that frames will line up, that we won't drop a frame, and I can't be guaranteed that the player like won't pause, for example. We can't just put like a delay on this track. It's not going to work. It'd be a bad solution. Or at least a solution with potential issues. So instead, this is delay 1. It's like the same note again, and I just made this green to make it easier to look at. And you can see it's not even a true delay. Like this delays 3 times here, and then twice here because it's time for another note. So it's kind of like faking with volume. And doing volume automation on the same track was kind of annoying and dumb, so I just did 4 tracks. It's easier to do this way. It's faster. So yeah, like -5, -10, -15. Manual delay. So yeah, Mirror Temp. I can play. It probably isn't even in here. This is all just absolutely terrible. I think it's I have another file that had like updated versions of these, some of them. But if I say here, oh, it's soloed. My bad. Solo. Yeah. So the gist here is that this was planned to be like this kind of thing, right? So we have this kind of velocity, bump, 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 bump. Right, so we have this going on. Oh, it doesn't even like it. Screw it. So I didn't even hear that. This doesn't like velocity programming there. Oh well. Yeah, so just completely a joke. And as far as the solution, Matt Thorson, the lead dev, was like, "This sounds great." And then I'm like, "Damn it, I have to do this now. I have to do it now." Yeah, and towards the end of the project, totally ran short on time, just getting everything else done, getting all this polish in place, and Lena was basically in a kind of less busy state, having finished the soundtrack, right? So I was like, "Can you just do the last 2 tracks, please?" But then, so she did the summit and the core, and basically, I had to just feed her like these 12 rules to follow. I'm like, "Okay, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. We can't hold any notes. We can like fake hold notes if you want to kind of make it, really tight against the edges of the 16th note, so we can just sort of repeat it over and over again, and it'll sound like it's held, like a held note, kind of. We can do delay, but here's how, and here are the limitations. I need like all these tracks, separate stems, and I need like, I want the MIDI as well, so I can go through the MIDI. Because what I was doing when I was cutting the wave files up is I would do things like this, right? If I want to like cut up this one, I've got this this bass line, right? And I need to export. I'm making a sampler basically, right? So I need to export all the unique 16th notes. So I'd be like, "Okay, C2, got it. Click here, and just zoom out." And I'm like, "Okay, got it. G2, all right." And I sort of do this, and then I could tell if there was a note I hadn't hit yet, right? Because it would still be green. So I'm like, "Okay, got all these, got it. A1, G sharp 1, G1, F sharp 1, F1. I'm like, "Oh, geez, I missed F2, right? Like it's over here. Like, that'd be easy to miss." So it was really helpful. So she gave me the MIDI content as well, and just brought it into FL Studio and was like doing the same thing, just looking at her work. What a nightmare, man. It was not fun. But hey, it's all in game, it's working. People seem to like it, so I guess it was all worth it, right? Anyway, that's not why you're here. J Hobbs, you're here a bit early, man. All you speed boys and girls are here a bit early, but we're doing real talk first here. Oh, let me open up the other one first. No. Is that gonna work? Hey! Welcome to Real Talk. Is Matt Esk even in the chat yet? I haven't seen him yet. I think he's gonna roll in. I don't know. Maybe it's just, hey, maybe he's just being quiet. Just lurking quietly. There he is, claps. All right, so Real Talk. We're looking at some. This is a weekly stream, and we look at demo reels from up-and-coming audio professionals looking to get some traction in their career, looking to get their start or just keep going, get towards kind of the gigs they want, and get past that period of doing stuff for free or for cheap or for, peanuts or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a reel today. We're looking at Siegfried Klar. This is Siggy Klar on Twitter. Hit me up. Scar Productions. And we have some criteria to look at over here. If you look down below, we've got presentation, material selection, and content quality and distinction. So for presentation, we're looking at the site overall and the reel itself, and just aesthetically, if it makes sense, like navigationally, if we know what we're looking at, if we have like limited time, then what are we going to see first? Are we seeing the important stuff? Are we going to miss things that you wanted us to see? That kind of thing. Furthermore, if the important information is there, if things like contact info is easy to find, if you got like annoying links that go nowhere, and it's just all these things that are really important in terms of first impression kind of stuff for people that might not know you that well or at all. For material selection, we're looking at what's in your portfolio and what's in your reel itself, and what that says about your past work history and your current skill sets and what you want to be doing one day, where you want to be going as far as future ambitions. For content quality, simply, is it good? Is it the industry standard of awesome? And if not, then what can you do to level up your work? For distinction, it's kind of a yes or no. Just, are you standing out in someone's mind? Are you standing out in a crowd? And because it's really important to realize that even though you might not get a job this time around, when you apply for a AAA studio gig or an indie developer like Matt with Celeste, or a studio like Power Up Audio, or like Hexany, or like Hyperduck, or whatever. These studios are like third party, and they do work like hours for a variety of developers. Whatever you're looking to work on, it's super important to stand out, because if, like, Power Up Audio is not hiring right now, but say we do want to hire in like 6 months, just hypothetically, then if you hit us up now and your site was awesome, but we're like, we don't have a place for you though. Well, guess what? In 6 months, we got to hire. And if you stand out in our mind, of course we're going to consider that as an option, right? So it's kind of a long game. And the same goes for like developers. So if you apply to work on, Matt's next game or something like that, or some indie developer on Twitter you find, or Kickstarter, or whatever it is, and they don't need your help, they're already covered, or they're not ready for you, or whatever. Well, what happens if their peer in the industry says, hey, I need sound, you know anyone? And well, they didn't need you at that point, but maybe they can refer someone, right? So there's a lot of reasons that you want to stand out, even if you're not going to get that job specifically right at this moment. Yeah? Okay, so all you speed folks, we're going to do Celeste in like 45 probably. But if you want to hang out and learn about audio, then feel free. All right, and of course, Matt Esk in the chat right now is going to help us out. He's holding it down as always every week. That is Matthew Martinson of Clay Entertainment fame. Done work on a whole lot of games, been in audio for like 14 years or something like that. Certainly kicks my ass in terms of experience. So we're happy to have him, as always. So, Siegfried. Here we are, Scar Productions. And you do have the link, right, Matt? I'm pretty sure you do. Oh, is that Squeakalicious? I didn't realize. That's actually you. I was told on Twitter that he is Australian, so the time difference is a bit weird, but he'll try his absolute best to make sure he's here for the stream. So I guess Squeakalicious is Siegfried. Pretty cool handle. Solid. All right. Well, here we are. Scar Productions. There's some links up top, some fancy animations that go to another version of the same button. We got LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Vimeo. Great. Scar Productions goes to the same page. I love those links that do absolutely nothing. It's fine. Home. We're already there. About. Portfolio, contact gallery, gaming channel. Cool. Sound design showreel. First thing up top. It's excellent. Location recording. It's like a vertical page, or is this on the main? Okay, home page has like the important stuff, I guess. Eh? So location recording. Passion exploring locations, recording as many interesting sounds as possible in process. Whether it is the subtle ambiences of Australia's beautiful rainforests, the sounds of an axe in a car bonnet, or the distinct sounds of a raft. A raft. Oh, this is a thing. I don't know what this is. World War II tiger moth. I don't know what that is, but cool. Video coming soon. What the heck? Oh, like of this? Yeah, like this kind of thing. I don't know. We'll come back to it. But was it a tiger moth? Oh, Royal Air Force. Thank you. Yeah, I'm totally just not in the know about these things. Thank you, Josh. It's a biplane. Got it. Okay, about. Here we go. Welcome to Scar Productions. My name is Siegfried Klar. I'm an audio engineer who specializes in sound design for game and film. I also work as a senior studio technician at SAE Institute, Byron Bay, Australia. I provide a range of services, including, but not limited to, audio asset creation, audio implementation, audio restoration, location sound recording, and composition. Please get in contact and let me know how I may help you add that sonic oomph to your project. I like that, sonic oomph. You missed, this is kind of a weird sentence here, there's a missing period. And also, sound design for game and film is a weird thing. Game and film. Film is kind of a plural, you know? Like I'm working in film, you can say that. Like I'm working on some films, I'm working in film as an industry, but no one says they're working in game. So it's kind of a strange, this is weird. Like games is more typical. Anyway, contact info is right here. Cool, great. So back to the home, I guess. Yeah, the coming soon, like just get rid of this, man. No one cares. All that matters is what's here right now. If you have updates, then awesome. Put them in, and then feel free absolutely to email people you've already been in contact with and say, hey, put a new thing, check it out, hope all is well, and just leave it at that. And if they look at it, cool. If not, then no worries. Like, people feel like maybe that's overstepping and maybe too persistent or something like that, but it totally isn't at all. Like if I get emails from people saying, "Hey, I'm looking to, looking to get my start in game audio, looking to intern at Power Up Audio, anything open?" There isn't. But if they email again in a month and say like, "Hey, my new awesome like Fmod Studio demo's up. Check it out. Hope you're doing great. Cheers." Like that's so like not invasive at all. It's completely just like offered, just without any kind of pressure or anything to check it out. Just being like, "Hey, I'm still around. I'm still passionate. I'm still doing this thing," and that goes a long freaking way, man. Long way, big time. Because no one does it. And it's awesome when people do, because it just shows that people care and they're putting the work in. Because the thing is, that one of the most, just to go on a brief rant here, one of the most kind of common things we see, like Matt and I see, is student project work. So we'll see kind of the same things from different people and be like, "Oh, I guess they went to Nimbus. Oh, I guess they went to VFS. I guess they went to Full Sail," or whatever, right? You kind of get to know the curriculum and what's involved in the portfolio pieces that are required in schooling. And the thing is, it's like, it's good, but it's not great, because I'd much rather know what you do on your own time. So an email like, "Hey, look at this new thing I did. It's awesome. I'm really proud of it," is kind of a direct connection to that, like what you're doing on your own time and what you're excited about. So this is trash, but emailing and saying that video, or "I got a new video up," is awesome. All right, do that instead. Audio implementation. "I love video games, and I'm sure I'd love yours." Well, it's a bold statement. I have worked on a lot of things I don't like, believe you me. Celeste is probably my favorite thing I've ever worked on, but it is a rare occasion you work on something you absolutely love, and it's like actually one of your favorite games ever. So cool that you're saying this. It's good to be enthusiastic. Are you in need of a sound designer? Please find some examples of projects. Please find some. Oh, I see. So you're saying like look below. Please find some examples of projects I've worked on by clicking the link below. The all caps is a bit much also, like here as well. It's a little crazy, but I don't know. I can let it go. Matt says, "The same stuff pops up a lot, all caps a lot. Showing in your reel and website that you've done more than what was asked of you in school is really good." Heck yeah. Game audio implementation examples. That's portfolio, I guess. Eh? So let's glance through here. So portfolio, we got sound redesign, we got game. What's the OSC videos are loading? We have, why are we yelling? Yeah, everything is caps. I don't feel great about it, but we can come back to that. Like everything is caps lock, everything. Like the titles in the videos and the titles of the videos up top, like the headings, and your logo and this and like the content. Was the about in all caps? Okay, this wasn't. That's good. If this was, that'd be insane. That would be crazy. All right. So we've got a lot of different stuff, which I assume will be kind of peppered throughout the reel, I think. Yeah. Probably. A lot of AAA stuff. A lot of Star Wars. Okay. Oh, I see. This is like one row, and this is, or sorry, one column. I was curious why there's openings here, but makes sense. Contact we saw, or did we? We didn't. Oh, just same thing as at the bottom of all the pages. This, I mean, it's right here. Maybe it's worth having it here also, but that feels a bit like a trim the fat kind of thing. Like just, I don't know. It's pretty like unobtrusive being here, so maybe it's fine. Gallery blog. Oh, I didn't look yet. Sorry. Back. How long since the last thing that was posted? It's a game we play. How long do you think it's been since the last thing was posted in this blog? I'm going to say... I feel good about Scar Productions. I'm going to say October of last year. Let's do it. So a couple months. 2 months, says Daniel Petrus. 6, says Josh. 4, says Dan. Let's see. Gallery/blog. Is it... What am I looking at? This is crazy. This is a Twitter feed, yeah? Okay, tweets. All right. And then this is like some snaps. Some hot snaps. That looks like it sounds awesome. Next. Okay. These are cool. Screenshot added. A screenshot was added to Dropbox. This is a bit questionable. We'll carry on. Okay. Yeah, cool. This is all great. Nice to have. Cool stuff. But the blog stuff, like, where's the blog? We've got, oh, is this it? No. What the? Is this a blog? What the? Down below? I can't find your blog, man. Is there? Am I just blind? I mean, this is what, Instagram, and then we have, like, there isn't a blog. There's no blog here. Unless you consider Instagram posts like a mini blog or something like that. You were at GDC, good for you. And recording stuff at GDC too. Not bad. This is great, it all looks good. This definitely seems like you're serious. So this gallery / blog is kind of a weird name. I understand you're probably looking for a good catch-all name for like your social media and like photos and stuff like that. I don't know, like this whole page is kind of like a junk drawer, but it's not the worst. I mean, also, you could put Instagram up here too. If you have Instagram here, you might as well put Instagram up top. If you want to show people your stuff, you know? Call it social. That's not a bad idea, Dan. Ali, sorry I missed your question, but Matt's answering it. Question about that student thing. So a lot of things on my portfolio are student work, but not for my classes. Student work in quotes. Like I worked on other classmates' work for fun and didn't get a grade. What's the most concise way to explain that? I don't know, don't? I mean, I'll see what Matt says. Just describe what they are. I don't think you call out for either thing, this is a student project, but you can say, yeah, when I say that we understand, like we know what student projects are, it's because we just know the work. Like we know that it's going to be like the Cube demo, or it's going to be like the EA, like the Need for Speed Shift cinematic redesign, or like whatever. It could be a variety of things that we just have seen 1,000 times. So it's not so much that they're labeled as student project, more that we're just familiar with what student projects look like. But you can say the school name in reference as far as company or whatever. Call it junk drawers, this page. That's fair. Yeah, I think like if you're doing work with a pal in school, just put that. You know, be like, if you want to title it, say, you know, Game Jam Project, or like the name of their team, or whatever. Like you can frame it. Everything about kind of presenting yourself on the internet or for jobs is about framing yourself really positively, right? So if you say like, this was just some nonsense project I did with some friends in school, it's not a big deal. Like that looks way worse than like talking passionately about this thing you did and how it challenged you and the problems you solved and how you grew as a designer and how you can't wait to show us. You know, like that's way better than this is like just a thing that I did in school. So yeah, you know, like we don't know when it was. If it looks awesome, then cool, right? Gaming channel. Let's see it. Casual League Gaming presents 101 Ways to Die in Battlefield 4 and 1. Mirror's Edge Catalyst closed beta lighting build glitch. I suck at fighting. Small. 7 months ago, 1 year ago. That's a long time ago for a gaming channel, man. Okay, so I guess we can watch a reel, yeah? Let's get ready and make sure my volume is up. I actually don't know that it is. I think it is. Let's make sure. Mixer. I think we're good. Yeah, we are good. Sounds like the average gaming channel. Oh, average gamer. Nice. That's what you did there. I saw it. Yeah, anything old is kind of dangerous. I mean, it's worth touching upon here, Siegfried. So anything old like that, like we were joking about the blog thing and how, you know, we're joking about what the last post was. It's kind of a joke, but honestly, we've seen blogs that are like 4 years old, and it's brutal. Like that's detrimental in a big way to your aspirations to get hired, because people look at that, and worst case scenario, they assume you're inactive, right? And if you aren't, then that is just false conveyance of information. So having a year-old gaming channel, like we have on our site, we've got, like the Power Up Audio thing, right? So we've got like this channel you're watching right now is on our page. So you can go to like live stream. It's like, hey, look, there we are, right? But we stream every week, so it's worth having there. I don't know. Your call, obviously. So 131. Maybe too long, maybe okay, says Matt. Yeah, it's questionable. Let's find out. So 3, 2, 1, and go. You were doing so well, Siegfried! Oh my god, man! Ugh! God damn it. Oh, man. I stopped listening. You see what happened? I stopped listening. That's the result of the fucking Wilhelm scream, man. There's like one thing that makes me swear on this channel, and that's what it is. Jeez. The chat is split. Some are down. Some are down. Some are not. So it's cute. The Wilhelm scream, like before we talk about anything else, the Wilhelm scream is cute to include in works you have produced. Maybe. Like, it's maybe cute in those cases. In a piece that, or for which the sole purpose is to showcase your work, it is a bold choice. It's very, very dangerous, in my personal opinion. Because, as Matt said, for me, the Wilhelm kills anything I might have been thinking. Did you see my reaction? It came in, and I started yelling, and I stopped listening. So, you've got a split chat right now, and some like it, and some hate it, and some are neutral. But I guess my question to you is, why would you want, what's the benefit of taking the risk that the person you're applying to and the person whose ears you want to appeal to are not, they don't like it? Like, there's a big risk there, right? And in that case, they're gonna be like, ugh, like this guy. And it's just, it's dangerous. Like, jokes in your work are, unless they're like funny moments in gameplay that you have designed that are part of the work you've created, like the joke is inherent to the produced work, then I think it's a bad choice to put jokes in your work. Because you want to, so yeah, do you want to play that kind of joke that potentially alienates half your audience? Hey, Brett, what's up? There was a Wilhelm scream in a reel. That's what we're talking about right now. Yeah, I think it was Narchop said it fit the universe. Maybe it was somebody else that said it fit the Star Wars. Made sense for Star Wars says Rogue Link. And someone else says, yeah, Base Master Flex says, love the Wilhelm. Loved the Wilhelm. Fits with Star Wars. Hey, Jay Fernandez, I'm not good at this. He says, oh no, oh no. Like right now, we're not even talking about your work, man. The reel was solid. It's a solid freaking reel. It's like, it's really strong, man. But the Wilhelm just, it's a black mark, you know? It's potentially a black mark for your audience. It's really dangerous. So Jamie at last, what's up, says it also does exactly what happened here and makes the whole thing about that one sound and distracts from everyone else. Everything else, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good reel. For what it's worth, he's Red Tail Hawk in Pit People. But that's not going on my reel. Yeah, same thing with Viking Squad. I'll try and find this for you really fast. The we've got this on our media page, I think. Is it here still? I feel like it might be. I don't know. Is it here? No. I guess it's old enough that it was moved. Give me a second. Is this gonna be it? I think this is it. I'll skip to the end. Oh, this is a launch trailer, my bad. It was early access. I hate the point. I put it in there too. I think maybe it was Jeff, actually. I think Jeff put it in there. But yeah, I wouldn't put it in the reel. It's dangerous. Dangerous. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, let's talk about a reel though, yes? That's why we're here. I watched the whole thing. And had that Wilhelm not been in it, I would have watched the whole thing attentively. Which is great. Because like Matt was saying, 130 is bordering on too long. Like 130 is as long as it should ever be, in my opinion. And so you're right at the maximum. Again, in my opinion. Jeff, you put it in twice. Yeah, exactly. Jeff put the red-tailed hawk in twice. Okay, so first, like full disclosure, I am absolutely not the person to be tearing apart the intricacies of first-person shooter sound design. But I think in terms of just presentation in general, this is really strong. Like the J-cuts are great. There's one J-cut that was, excuse me. If you don't know what a J-cut is, the J-cut is when you hear audio before you see the visual come in. Meaning that if you can picture like a timeline of video and audio, J being that it's like audio before the thing, forming a J, right? So this J-cut, it was these enemies. Where the hell was it? It was after Doom? Yeah, this guy right here. This J-cut was a bit crazy. Here we go. So that was really loud, and the thing is, we're seeing a gun right here, and this is like very, very just details-oriented conversation right now. By the way, Siegfried. So this is not like a big thing, just nitpicking, but I'll tell you that my personal just kind of blind reaction to this, and of course for everyone else watching right now, we don't watch this beforehand, of course, right? This is all blind. Going in kind of without anything prepared. So this is a very kind of honest, just first impression. This J-cut, we're seeing a gun. And I thought it was weird. Because it was like full volume, like crazy full volume. But nothing's happening visually. So it was kind of crazy. But like that's the only one. Everything else I felt really good about. So I think that you did a great job of presentation. And the thing is, this is something that a lot of reels just don't get right. Like a lot of reels. I would say the majority of reels suck at flow. And yours had solid flow, man. DJ C, what's up, man? Says, yeah, I thought that sound was supposed to be the gun too. Yeah, it's just that because the contents of the J-cut are so near what you're seeing already, it kind of throws your brain for a loop because what you're seeing isn't meeting your expectations, and then you're pulled out for that one moment. So it's a little bit I don't know, it kind of goes against what you're going for in the rest of the reel, right? So let's talk about the just titling and stuff first, yes? We'll press play one more time. We'll turn this thing down. I'll turn on my sidechain again too. I'm glad it wasn't on for my yelling at your reel. I apologize for that. Okay, here we go. So press and play. We've got like 2 seconds of that, awesome, it fades away. I like it. Sound design show reel 2018. Dating, we like the general consensus on dating things is that if you are diligent in updating, then it's no problem. But as soon as you need to start like worrying about how long ago this thing was, then it's a bit tricky. So if you want to use it for a while, if you think it'll stand up, or you just don't have time to update things, then you might want to not date your stuff. But again, it's up to you. It's totally personal. If you have time to update and make like 2019 or like another one 2018, then who cares? Just to keep in mind. Info here is great. Cool. Carrying on. And then we have game audio implementation. All sounds were designed and implemented into Unreal 4 engine using Audio Kinetics Wise. All levels were designed with assets from the Unreal Marketplace. That's great. This is so cool. We don't see this very often as far as like making your own stuff and then just doing the population of sound design yourself. It's not very often you see it. It's like, so Dan says too many words. I'm inclined to disagree in this case because not much is happening visually, and the main problem with like a lot of words on screen is that what ends up happening is you end up competing with the action because the attention. These things are competing for attention. So like the action is here, and there's like a big cinematic thing happening, some combat and lots of things happening you want to keep track of, while also like text splayed across the bottom half of the screen, right? So it's just way too much. But in this case, let's watch. You know, like it becomes pretty clear that all we're seeing is just like some environmental stuff and walking and Foley. And so it kind of gives you time to get accustomed and be like, oh, what's down here? And I totally read it the first time through. I internalized all of this, and then I had time to come back to this and see what you were doing. And I recall thinking to myself like, oh, he built the levels. Awesome. That's really cool. So I think this succeeded. Brett Patterson of Fmod fame says it could have just said UE4 Wise instead of a whole paragraph. Yeah, probably. I agree. Be like sound design implementation, UE4 Wise. Just that. And then like this is a subtext. Might be cool. It can never hurt to just pare things down. I mean, just because I internalized it doesn't mean that every single person will. Dan's impression was too many words, so there you go. Might be worth kind of paring things down just to get things nice and bite-sized, you know? But let's carry on. That was cool. Walking through, it's nice. It's kind of a cool little moment to showcase. Like, hey, I made this thing, and I built a thing to affect what you see. I kind of wanted to hear like the pitter-patter of rain on the metal roof, but we hear the sound of the footstep on the metal, and it does kind of, you know, it obviously affects sound, and the point being that, hey, I'm using Wise, and I did a thing like dynamic sound in the environment. Like that's kind of the point. If you want to take it one step farther, then maybe just design that interior a bit more, like a bit more mindfully. But otherwise, cool. Yeah, carrying on. Yeah, we'll try and focus on presentation the first time through. I'll talk about design stuff later on. Again, game audio implementation. Is this the same thing or something else? Like this is now... This title didn't change, but given that it changed from first to third person, I wasn't sure if this was the same like project or not, you know? So that caught me off guard. I interpreted originally these two things as different projects entirely on my first watch through. So if they aren't, then maybe that's worth addressing, but I don't know. It's cool though. Carry on. And also points for having this up the entire time and not fitting it out. So these are 3 games, right? Like 3 different projects. Then, you know, it maybe couldn't hurt even to say like, you know, like personal project 1, personal project 2, personal project 3, like number them so it's very clear, and just have this information. Because I like here's the thing. I like the concept of being like, here's me doing things more. Like I do so many personal projects. I like number these things. it's so many. And I think that it might be like a small psychological thing, because I didn't entirely internalize like this was up the entire time, and this was changing though, so I wasn't sure what was actually happening. You like call them, like first person demo, third person demo, vehicle combat demo. Yeah, totally, Josh. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3 is like pretty freaking generic. If you just name them something, and then have this information here, then that's really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that'll help too with flow, because it'll give you a chance to, you know, just like this moment where you fade things out and fade this in. It's like blip. You could fade it, I guess, but it just popped in. You could fade this part out, whatever you end up, you know, going with. Rufflecopter project, yes. Fade it out, and then fade this in when the third person thing comes in, right? And that'll help. That'll help that black point, the fade out. It's like black, and now boom, third person project, right? That'd be cool. And that kind of reframes people's ears and eyes, I think, as well, because sonically the flow feels great. Like it flows really well with the J cut, with the voiceover and stuff. It sounds really awesome. And then, so having the visual kind of be like, oh, and now this is what you're hearing, would be a nice kind of next step in building that narrative for your viewer, you know? Doom sound redesign. I don't love this title. It's kind of like, sound redesign is definitely imperative to have. In these previous ones, you had like this would instead be like, you know, helicopter project, and then this pared down to implementation, sound design, UE4, WISE, you know, however you want to phrase that. So this one, I think having Doom here, like Doom up top, with in parentheses, you know, like put the developers for all redesigns you do, like put developers just out of courtesy. You just should do it, you know. And then beneath, since the previous thing was saying what you did, like this information below, the subtext is what you did, then that should also consistently be here that you did redesign beneath. Oh, you did fade these in. You fade this in, man. Fade this one in too. Consistency. Carry on. Yeah, Matt raises a great point. If someone's skipping around, it becomes even less clear that these are different projects. That's a big one. So, carry on. Linear redesign. Yes, thank you, Matt. Good point. So, sound redesign. I think we're relatively... Oh, you have beneath... I didn't even see this. See, it says, disclaimer, all video contents property of Bethesda. Right, Bethesda, my bad. This video is strictly being used to showcase... I can't read this. So this is beneath the video play bar, which is like... not terrible, but not great. So, okay, it is there. I mean, it still can't hurt to have it there. But yeah, linear redesign. I assume this is linear, because I assume probably safely you didn't have access to... like re-implementation to mod this thing, so maybe you did, I don't know, but if you did, then say so, you know. All right, Star Wars Battlefront 2 sound redesign. Same notes regarding just separation of the information here, you know, sound redesign. And then if you must have dialogue performed by in here, like this is almost too much information. Like I don't really care who did dialogue when I'm watching the reel. It might be good to have that somewhere else, perhaps. Also, Jeff says, Star Wars, somebody throw a thermal grenade. Jeff loves that thermal grenade. Yeah, Jeff often brings up the article that was written about Battlefront, like on the sound of the thermal grenade, and that was like an entire article. Anyway. Yeah, like dialogue performed by, and the thing is, you have it here, but then like, why isn't it here for this dialogue happening in this scene? You know, so it just seems like kind of this weird disconnect in what is being shown. Carry on. Let's keep listening. Don't be distracted. I didn't even see this last time. Okay, so, great, cool, and the ending is nice. We've got. It snaps out again. Yeah, just fade your titles, man. Just make sure it's consistent the whole way across. This is again, shows up, and then it goes away. Does it? Yeah, it's awesome. So, overall, I'm pretty pumped. Flow-wise, feels pretty good. Josh says, nice how you're clearly fully committed to AAA sound design. There's no ambiguity there. I agree. It's very, very clear you're not looking into anything else than what is shown there, right? Super cool. Matt says, totally missed. That's what it was. Yeah, neither of us saw it. We're too angry at Wilhelm screams. I literally saw none of the last clip. I'm being absolutely honest. I don't recall seeing any of this, and that second time through was like my first time almost. Kind of crazy. All right, so in terms of the material selection, we're talking about the fact that AAA is very clear what we want to do. If we look at your main portfolio, what all is in here? We've got kind of the longer versions of those same things we just saw. Is that true? Sound redesign examples. We got Battlefront, Battlefield, Doom, Battlefield 1, TIE Fighter. Yeah, okay. So those things, basically. These same things. Here's a question. In this clip, is it like the same clip, or is it something else? Place your bets. Oh, I hear the pitter-patter there. That's cool. I didn't hear it the first time. Oh, double I implemented. Typos, yo. Also, all caps is still brutal. Here's the thing. So, we already saw this, you know? So, Siegfried, consider what someone's doing on your site, right? Like, what are they doing? So, for example, what did I do? I was down with this Unreal 4 thing, right? And I thought, oh, I want to know more. And I went to this page, portfolio, and I clicked this video, which was easy to find. So that's good. So you did have that content for me to look into more. But I watch it, and I'm getting no new information. Like, literally none. Or perhaps I'm speaking too fast. Let's roll the whole thing. So, flag's chilling. So it is a new clip, it looks like. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it definitely is a new clip. It's a new performance of, like, a new performance of the recording, right? So, at least there's that. But keep in mind, if I go to this video, what I want in coming here is more information. So I would love to have a video of this same thing, you walking through it, but then, you know, sidechain talking about what we're hearing and saying what you did. Because that's way more interesting than trying to guess at all the things you're doing. Like, super interesting. If I like someone's sound design, I will absolutely listen through like 10 minutes of them talking about it. Absolutely. Totally. Yeah, I think that this isn't really adding more to your site because we already saw it, you know? Like, I didn't really get anything more of that. I saw a flag flapping, and that's kind of it, you know? And that's not enough to justify an entirely new video. So, yeah, I think you absolutely should do, like, some kind of explanation thing. Like, explain it. It gives people, it has a lot of good purposes. So, a huge bonus is it kind of lets people get to know you better. And in terms of that distinction point I was mentioning before, that is a big one. So, for example, I can hear in my head, like, some of the people speaking that we've watched in the past, like Timur Aminov and Damian Shepard and stuff. Like, I can hear their voice from their videos they've done. And just that alone is kind of like one more impression to help you stay in their memory, right? Or stay in mind. So when they're looking to hire, then it's just one more checkbox for you, you know? Whereas this, you risk, we don't risk, but it's just you're not helping yourself by having this alone. And you absolutely could be helping yourself by showing people how pumped you are about your work by talking about it. And the thing is, your gallery and stuff, like these photos, the fact that you have these photos of like, you know, of your work, this stuff, it does speak to your interest in your craft. Absolutely. This is sick, you know, super cool. But I would love to hear what you're working on in UE4, you know, that'd be awesome. Okay, so, and that goes for all your stuff, basically. Like your redesigns, I mean, sure, typically you just have like the full version of the redesign as the portfolio piece and not the clip that shows up in your reel. But for things like implementation or personal projects, yeah, hell yeah, talk about those things. You put so much work into those, man. You should be talking about them. I'd love to hear it. So let's talk about the content quality. And again, I'm not the person to talk about first-person shooter stuff, so I'll keep it to a minimum. But I will say that your guns don't suffer from what I think it was Mark Kilborn once referred to as like vacuum cleaner syndrome, where it's like, you know, you just have that kind of tonal quality to it. It's got the, I hear the, I'm down with it. Yeah, it's cool. Someone asked where this voiceover came from. Did you answer that? I don't recall seeing the answer to it. And I am curious of that, actually, seeing as you didn't specify in the text, but you did for the other clips. I don't see it. I don't see your answer. Perhaps you did. I did see someone say, this is one of the better reels they've seen on this show, and I agree. It's definitely up there. Matt says, content-wise, this is like the only point I had too, honestly, is I thought for almost all of the verbs, they're a bit heavy. Yeah, and especially like the creature reverb stuff, like in Doom, is like all around you, and it wasn't really appropriate for what we're seeing. It kind of seemed like a bit of a heavy-handed choice. But let's keep watching. I did like this because it showed your understanding of dynamics, as it sure seemed like the voice was sidechaining against the gun, and that was very clear to see like right away. Yeah, it's just so washy, and this whole scene is super washy in terms of the reverb. And I think that your design is not bad. Like usually, like dense reverb is a symptom of people being kind of not so confident in their work, and therefore they just put in this like reverb soup, and it's delicious now, right? But it's like not really. And I think your work is contoured enough, and you're mindful enough about the choices you're making that you don't need to have that as a crutch. And I think you can definitely pull the reverb back. That moment kind of confused me, the horn rip, because it's like, it's kind of all around you. The sound is like very 2D, and there wasn't much of the actual pull, like of the rip. So perhaps you're going for a similar thing with the gunshots kind of being deafening, and you know, blotting out the temp voiceover you have in place. That maybe this yell is also deafening and therefore blots out the sound of the Foley and stuff, but I didn't really get that, if that was the intent. And the grab and the hit's really cool. So that is one moment I felt like it was like for the gore fest that Doom is, I feel like that's a pretty important moment to hit, like that, like rip it off.
The ATST is down.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, Star Wars is a bold freaking choice to redesign. Like, I wouldn't do it. Hell no, I wouldn't do that. It's cool though. It's all right. Oh, that debris is unfortunate though. Right here, it's all silent. Yeah, again, verb is like so crazy. Matt says, I was waiting for you, Matt. I was purposefully not saying anything, waiting for you to pipe up. The ambience is sick. It's sick. There's so much stuff happening off screen. It's awesome. And that's very, very mature. I think that is the standout element of this reel, I think, is the ambience. What the? Why? What's playing? What the heck? My Pro Tools has been playing for like the last 2 hours. And this is just like on the timeline. Way down the timeline. Apologies. A finely tuned engine over here at Power Up Audio. As we were saying, the ambience is like standout AF. There's so much happening off screen. Like if you look at this whole Star Wars scene.
Skywalker down. I repeat, the ATST is down.
That's sick. Like we heard these folks through that whole thing. Yeah, this is definitely weaker. I think that. So in your portfolio, the Battlefield 1 is pretty low down, right? It's like right at the bottom. Sound redesign. Oh, come on. Oh my god. Take your time, please. No, it's not bottom, I guess. Is it older design? I'm curious. Because I feel like it's not the strongest piece in there. And the main thing is the reverb. Yeah, Scottfield's saying maybe you don't need the Battlefield 1. I feel like it's not the strongest piece, and being it's the last one, and it's already over a minute, it's maybe cuttable. I mean, you've got stuff you've been building yourself. March last year. I think you've outgrown it. Like this is great. It's a nice mix of kind of nuance of ambience and, you know, hard-hitting gunshots and stuff, and also you built it yourself, which is sick. And then same thing for these next clips, they're great. With, you know, details to be ironed out and presentation-wise to be ironed out. And then Doom is like pretty good, except for some dimension stuff like, you know, making sure that things are nice and contoured and have direct sound and they're present in a space. And this is great too, like for a Star Wars redesign, which generally is like recommended against because it's so strong and you're up against heavy hitters. It's good. Like it's honestly not bad at all. And the last clip, I have a lot of problems with. You know, I have a lot of problems with this last one. Like the reverb and the kind of absence of sync on some things, and yeah, it's just not. It's not great. It's not terrible at all, but it's just like it's not on the same level as everything else, you know. So I think that having this trimmed down to your finest work and showing where you are currently, showing something from last March maybe isn't the best choice. But it's up to you, honestly. If you're proud of the work and you want to have it in here, then of course, you know, Godspeed. But I personally probably wouldn't include it. So, all right, let's just talk distinction. Matt is saying your in-game stuff stands out way more than another linear piece. People see linear pieces all the time, like the folks who are in charge of hiring and recruitment at AAA studios. Linear redesigns are like dime a dozen. And if you have a good one, it's pretty important to have one at least. You know, just have something that shows your understanding of you know, supporting a story cinematically. But having like another one, having like each additional one you add just has these kind of diminishing returns, you know? Whereas having something like the first 3 clips you have in your reel are like way better. Way better. Damian Shepard's like small job offer. Yeah. You went and recorded lasers based on Ben Burt's original technique. Yo, so freaking... This is a great place to put that kind of information, man. Like, this alone... I mean, I would have no problem with you putting, 2-3 sentences for each one of these clips just beneath it. Maybe you'd have to reorganize how it's set up because it's kind of weird 2 columns to have that. But, have first up this because it's more important than this. It's in the blog. What? I don't see the blog at all. It's already changed. Gallery Social. Look at this. Gallery Social. Like in Instagram or something, you have some note or something, or maybe videos about. Let's see this. Ugh. Yeah, okay. So is like in here somewhere, I guess? Or something? I think that, Vimeo video. What? See, here's the problem. I don't know where this is. so right away, it's kind of... It's this questionable. Because if it's awesome information, like I recorded it the same way that Bert did, like that's really cool information. And it's pertinent to the thing that's like, right here. So having it right beside it just makes the most sense when you consider that people have limited time. If you apply to a company that hires these kinds of people, they're gonna get like hundreds of resumes, literally. I mean, we had Isaac Chan on here from Riot, who is involved in audio, but is mostly doing recruitment at Riot, and Travis Nace is there as well, doing some stuff for them. And he was saying that they put up a like a junior level position job posting, and he's going through like 800 applications. So when you realize that, and it's someone's job or some people's jobs to go through all those applications, you need to realize that your content should be built and structured in such a way that it accommodates for people with that job. Because they're not going to be on your site searching for more things to look at. They will open it and end up here and be like, cool, Scar, got it, what we got? Sound design, awesome, press play. And in 10 seconds, I would argue that you've got their attention, which is awesome. Like very, very good. In fact, it's imperative, right? They'll probably watch the whole thing, especially if you cut that last piece out. And then I would suspect they might be interested, and scroll down and be like, oh, cool, some neat things, got it. Hey, no more video coming soon link, good for you. And then they'll say, oh, Unreal 4, huh? Let's see more about that. Click here and see your awesome commentated video about what you did in Unreal Engine 4 and these things you bought, right? And built. And they're going to be pumped, right? They're not, I guarantee, going to go to Gallery Social and scroll down and hope for the best. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, so I'm impressed, man. This is really good. Super strong. Absolutely very strong. And Matt says, if I can't find it, it doesn't exist. Yeah, true. Very true. So I will say, standing out, heck yeah. I think that your work is very good, and that you just need to frame it better and give yourself a fighting chance at standing out in a crowd and getting that job, So, one of these. And I'm curious, Matt, if you have a second to put in your thoughts on distinction too. I may have missed it. I'll scroll up. Yeah, Matt says would be great if you're gunning for a DICE job. So yeah, it really seems like your reels are pretty tailored, or your reel and the contents of your portfolio are tailored for a certain kind of studio. And I think that people at that studio will recognize that. I mean, to bring up one quick kind of anecdote from our past, as far as guest hosts are concerned, we had Rob Krekel from Naughty Dog, and he's like he's senior sound designer there on the Uncharted's and Last of Us and such. And he was saying, like, if you want to redesign Uncharted, and if it sounds awesome, he's gonna be pumped. Like, he's not gonna be offended or feel weird or anything like that, Man, J-Hobbs, go for it, man. Of course. Everyone in the chat is like fully invited at all times to share their opinions. Absolutely. So, Matt, did you add your distinction yet? I didn't see it. He did not. Here we go. Matt says, yeah, standing out. Couple more tweaks would put it over the top. The doing the in-game stuff that you built out is really good. It shows you know more than just audio. which says a lot of good stuff. Yeah, it says it says a lot also about your capacity to learn and the fact that you care about this stuff. And those are two things that we can't really teach you to like be good at learning, and we can't teach you. I mean, I mean like any hirer in the world, right? Like any potential hire. We can't teach you to care, and we can't teach you to learn. So like, we can teach you how to make that reverb sound better, but everything before that's way, way more important, obviously, right? So J-Hob says, small blurb, single image, padding to your friend. Listen to J-Hob, he's a smart guy. He's an intelligent dude. And with that, I'm going to give you one more of these. And we just have the one reel today. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do this.